Hello, everyone. So, I never thought I'd see this fellow again, Drew Harris, and everybody else didn't want to see him, and everybody wanted him gone. Even the people in Garda Síochána wanted him gone. 99.5% was up in that vote to get rid of him, and Helen McAtee kept him. So, democracy. But yeah, so great stuff. The Office of Public Works spent €400,000 to do up a place for him to live in the Phoenix Park. Obviously on the taxpayers' expense. Very good, isn't it? But yeah, the other good thing about it was he got to live rent-free. And now, I don't know about you and me, but only Irish person doesn't get their rent paid for by the government. We had to go and pay for it ourselves. So, and especially Drew Harris here, he was on €300,000 a year. Very good. Not homeless, not at risk of becoming homeless. Good God, we couldn't have that. But yeah, he wouldn't pay 21,000 a year in rent. It was 1,700 a month. He wouldn't pay it. So the Irish taxpayer had to flip the bill. So it's great. So altogether, probably it says 2018 to 2025, we could have been paying, God knows, 2 million maybe for the whole lot, and then including the refurbishment, etc. Like, did they really need to refurbish it, first of all, to the tune of €500,000? It was made out of gold, or what were they trying to do with it? But yeah, it's absolutely ludicrous because as I think the Justice Minister, a sweetheart deal. That's what it was. Like, no only Irish citizen to get this done. Like, they're getting it hard to give any Irish person anything, let alone look after them. And of course, we have the Office of Public Works. At this stage, everybody in the Office of Public Works should be in prison because there all seem to be a bunch of crooks. Like, they're all crooks, nearly Richard Nixon's over them, to be totally honest, because they're just that big of crooks. Like, everything they're in, everything's always sus when they have something to do with it. Like, the Office of Public Works should be disbanded. They all should be probably arrested because that's what's happening here. Because at this stage, every time they have something to do with anything, it's always corruption. But yeah, it's absolutely farcical. It's absolutely farcical that this even he got the job in the first place. Because let's be fair, he had links to MI6 and MI5, and he wasn't even in Garda Síochána. At least the fellow they have now, the Garda Commissioner, he was in the Garda Síochána. He's been there for 20 years in the Garda. He's been in this fellow was in the PSNI and MI6 and MI5. So I don't know how he got the job in the first place. It's a miracle how he got the job in the first place. I don't know who allowed him to become the Garda Commissioner, who said this was a great idea. At least in fairness, we have a Garda Commission that's an Irish Garda Commission that was in Garda Síochána. So you would understand why they wouldn't really want him in the Garda, because he was an outsider. He didn't understand the Garda. Because he never was in the Garda. Like, that's the thing. Like, in my opinion, the Garda Commissioner should be somebody that was in the Garda Síochána, that knows how Garda Síochána works, and it's been there for years and worked this way up from the bottom up. But Drew Howe just turned up. It was insane. But yeah, he should be made pay back every penny of it, first of all. Every penny that he owes in rent, he should be made pay back to the state, with interest, of course. And I'd nearly say he should cover the cost of that time that we refurbished it. Because I would like to know what's happening with that house that house that was done up from. Is that going to be given to an Irish homeless person, or where's that going? I presume it's a direct provision set. I presume they're going to house refugees in it. Obviously, the taxpayers' expense. But yeah, it's absolutely farcical that somebody was on €300,000 a year had their rent paid for too. Now, how many more deals are like this? This is the question now. How many more deals? So if we look at the Chief of Staff, take for example, the Defence Forces, is he getting a sweethearted deal too? Like, his department's paid for and everything. Or we look at the Chief Executive of the HSEs, his department being paid for. Is the current Garda Commissioner's department being paid for? Is any of the TDs, take for example, is their apartments being paid for by the Irish taxpayer? It raises a ton of questions. Obviously, this will never be asked in the journal or anything that. Who else is this happening to? Like, we will find this out. If we found out all the details about who else this is happening to, it could be 20 or 40 people. We are paying for their rent, and these are people on hundreds of thousands a year, not €100 a week. Take for example, my money on €450 a week, and I have to go out and work a 40-hour week, etc. And there's no such thing as the government saying, I'm coming to pay your bills. There's no such thing as the government saying, oh, I cover the rent, Dave, and you're going out and working hard. We'll cover the rent for you. But no, there's no such thing as the government saying, yeah, we're going to pay off the rent for you. Not at all, not a hope. No Irish person, and if it's Irish people in difficulty, they're left to rot. And that's the worst thing about it. So Drew Howes was looked after. And again, he wasn't, I don't even know if he's an Irish citizen. I think he's still a British citizen as far as I know. But he was being looked after more than an Irish person that's struggling. But obviously, it should be made pay back everything. And obviously, they should be looked into about everybody else, the directors, the Chief of Staff of the Defence Forces. Does he have his own apartment? Does the Irish taxpayer pay for it? Because if this has happened to the Garda Commissioner, of course, it might be happening to somebody else. I'm just saying. But it needs to be looked into. Because it is absolutely farcical. That's how much was paid. It's absolutely farcical. 21,000 a year. Like, some people literally, that's their wage. Like, at the end of at the year when they get paid. just thinking about it. So it's absolutely fucking farcical that somebody on 300,000 euro could not pay 21,000 out of the 300,000 euro salary, plus expenses, of course, and allowances and all that. Give or take 350,000, maybe 400,000. It's absolutely farcical that he couldn't fork out 21,000 for his own little place in the Phoenix Park that was specially done up for him, etc. It's all fucking, it's all loudly done, isn't it? But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe more and bye.